And as regards the gripping techniques, Tyra says here, like the gripping methods of the ball, he has 3 only here, right? So this is Jun Nigiri, which is a standard way of gripping. It's this one here. So one hand above, the other below. The second is Gyaku Nigiri, reverse grip, like this. So you grip the ball from both hands grip from the same side, from above in this case. And then there's an interesting one which you hear, you don't hear about it a lot. It's Jose Nigiri, so shifting grip. And this is, of course, this is this one here. You find it in some higher kata, like Chin Shikanaka no Kon, Soishi no Kon, and Suyoshi no Kon. And it's a long grip, so you shift the one hand. Right? In fact, over time, a larger number of grips developed. However, since Kobudo is developing more and more, and actually Taya Shinken, he was one of the person who began to develop and describe Bujutsu, where before there was no such thing as a description. It was just do it like this, do it like that, you know, hold it like this, hold it like this, hold it like this, and so on. But as far as the gripping methods, so there were 2, right? The Junigiri, like this. This is 3 division, which is always used as a basic kind of grip in a Ryukyu Kobudo of Tara Shinken lineage. So when you start learning it, you are asked to only do it like this, always 3 division grip. Then there's the Gyaku Nigiri, which is often used, like, for example, like this, in a Uraso no Kon, things like that, you know, or here, like this. And then there's the Jose, the sliding grip, the closing in, so you're closing in the hands, mostly for Nagashi Uke like this. Right? And beside that, you divide the ball, which is 6 shaku, right, into 6 divisions. So sometimes you have a 4 shaku grip, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're here, right? So you would strike like this. This is Yon shaku. Then there's Go shaku, which is, you know, 1 shaku from the end, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the other end. So it's longer. And finally, there's the Roku shaku grip, which is at the very end, which is difficult because you don't have much power here. So you have a lot more power when you grip here, but it's long, so you can defend very good the Nagashi Uke here. Got to strike. You take the power, the momentum, and you can continue the momentum towards the other end. So these are different grips, and also if you want to have a little more power, you move from the standard grip, from the Junigiri, a little bit towards the other end. So you have a lot more striking power. It becomes more like a sword. Still not a sword, because the end here will prevent you from doing a front strike like that. But still you have a little bit more power. You have more range at the front, so like this. Similar to the bayonet. For the bayonet in Japan is called Juken Jutsu. And as you can imagine, in the early 20th century, it became an important part of soldiery training. So everybody did it. So the bayonet is more for spiritual training, you know. The application, it exists, but actually for the fencing or so, and of course you would hold it with this side, because you would shoot like this, and then you would run. But the bayonet is more like for spirit. And the bayonet in Japan, the Juken-Do today, they have a bogu, protective equipment similar to kendo. So they got a mask, got a protection flip here. They got the do, and they got a special protection over the heart because this is a target, right? So all of the techniques in Jukenjutsu are thrusts. So it's because this would be enough. And they got short deflections and counter. So this is Jukenjutsu. And because of the anatomy of the rifle, and of course they use mock rifles made from wood, you grip it on the further to the end. So you can use it in a bow as well. The heavier your bow is, the more difficult it gets because you have a lot of mass to move here. So the more you go to the end, to move the mass is more of a bit of work to do than if you have a light bow, which you can just move like with one hand. And there's a lot of power, of course. If you have this long bow, it's difficult to counter, but it's also difficult to control. So I guess it's not wanted because everything has to be controlled. Everything has to be done in a way so that you can do what's it called, a yakusoku komite, you know. You do this attack not as an attack. This is just to, you know, give the other guy the possibility to show some defense technique and a counter technique. That is why most yakusoku komite is a little bit weird. And also in yakusoku komite, in order to make it look good to the outside, the attacker has to attack like it's real. Of course it's not real, but he has to pretend to do it. If you just do like this, or if you just do tsuki like this, you know, it looks like really, 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 really bad, right? So you want to do like, like that. But you have the control of the technique still, so you're not gonna hit the guy. While if you do a swing like this, with the heavy stick and then with a long grip, you can't stop. It's difficult to stop here. You can, but it's not so good. So if you really swing it through, it would force the other guy to have a real good reaction, a good defense, a good counter and all of that. And I guess that's the goal in the long term. But again, that's the different kinds. This is what you learn in the kata, but most of this you only learn in the higher kata. Like for example, in the first kata until the 5th dan or 6th dan, you will be asked to remain with the 1, 2, 3, which is actually, it's not so good, you know. It's really not what a stick is for. It's not the advantage of the stuff. It's actually teaching the disadvantage of the stuff. And of course they do the kihon, all the kihon is done like this. All the kihon is done in this very, very difficult way, and it's not really practical. So once you get to the higher katas, you will notice, oh, there's a yamashaku, which gives me, wow, really, bam, really power. And there's 5 shaku, right? There's 5 shaku mochi, bam. So you have a range advantage. You start using the advantages of the stuff, which makes the stuff good. And of course there's a rokushaku, you know, which is very very strong, particularly if you get the power from the opponent's attack. You take the momentum, you're cutting down here, then slide and take the swing, bam, and give it right back. So this is a powerful technique. This Bojutsu. Again, Jonigiri, 1, 2, 3. Yakunigiri, same. Like this. Jozunigiri, 1, 2, 3. Closing in. And then Yon Shakunigiri, Go Shakunigiri, or Up Shakunigiri. Okay?